Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live with K0BJJ. Before I bring on our special guest, guys, the POTA community lost a very impressive individual this last week, and I would like to take a moment of silence to remember Sarah Bean. She's been in the stream. She stopped in the chats before. She's a member of the POTA Community Ham Radio Clubhouse. I would just like to take a moment, have a little moment of silence for Bean, who is now silent keel. We'll be listening to her in the QSB. So just a quick moment, and I'll bring our guest in. All right, everyone. Thank you for understanding. I want to make sure when we lose a member of our community and from the Ham Radio Clubhouse and POTA that we give them the honor that they deserve. With that, I'm going to bring on our guest tonight. Here's Ariel. He is the Iowa Winlink expert, or at least that's what I am going to designate him at.
Yeah.
And I have a ton of issues with Winlink, and hopefully he's going to educate us tonight. I'm going to remind everyone who is stopping in, don't forget to hit the like button. If this is your first time here, a sub would be appreciated at 500 subs. We are giving away a Ham Radio Care package. And if you really want to go up and above, the pinned comment is how you can support us financially. With that, Ariel, what the Winlink? How do I get this thing to work?
Well, I guess, it takes a special somebody to dig through the instructions on their website on figuring out how this whole thing works. I actually came across Winlink kind of by accident, watching lots of YouTube videos. So Julian over there, I can't remember his call center off the top of my head, but he does a lot of the emergency communications type YouTube pages or YouTube videos, and one of them was Winlink, and his big thing is digital communications when voice just doesn't cut it in some of the conditions that are out there. So Winlink seemed like a pretty cool tool to use for quick emails and sending data as quickly as you could and be able to pack things up and move along to the next site. So I'm going to kind of play to the lowest common denominator here and pretend like nobody has any idea about Winlink and what to do and where to go. So I'm going to bring up a website here. Just give me a second to present that. Obviously, if you guys have questions, put them in the chat there.
And please understand, guys, there is going to be a little delay, but we'll get those questions answered as quick as we can. So, but please put them in the chat. If you really want to make sure that they're known, tag one of us in the question.
All right. So first things first is going to the Winlink Global Radio email website. That one's actually winlink.org. And go to that page there. They have a few different tabs you can roll through. Excuse my daughter freaking out back there. I'm not sure what she's crying about.
I understand. I completely get it.
Kids. It's probably most likely my youngest, probably bitter or something. She's in that stage of biting. So, but you have the different tabs here that you can kind of play around with. This particular tab shows you where all the RMS stations are at that are active, where you can send your digital emails to over HF. But what you guys really want to go to is the Book of Knowledge. That's really where all the information is at to kind of dig through and understand what's going on with Winlink. So obviously there's an article there you can read, and it kind of talks through a couple of key points there. There's a couple of video training series there you can roll through, but sometimes it's just easier just to do things hands-on and kind of do like a walkthrough with somebody that's done it before to kind of go through all the motions without the fluff. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and click on that download and install Winlink Express. I've already downloaded it, but it's going to walk you through the process of getting it installed on your computer. And once that's all done, then you should be fully Winlink installed. And then from there, you'll bring up your Winlink program there. So give me 1 second to pull that up. All right, move this over here.
Chris, Jeff, yes, I know you're not joining us tonight, but just hang tight. Depends on the questions that we have. If we might have a little extra time. If we do, I'll put the link out. But I wanted to make sure Ariel could explain this thoroughly because I'm going to be going back to it numerous times.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see. Let me stop sharing this one because it's only sharing my my web browser and not the actual window. So give me 1 second again.
Oh, you're fine. Whatever you need.
All right, can you guys see that?
They can now.
Cool. Okay, so this is kind of the overall layout, and I'll walk through each of the areas here kind of briefly, and then we'll get more in depth for the actual setting up of everything. It's kind of set up just like Outlook is, if you will. If you use Microsoft Outlook or any other email system, it has kind of the general same areas here. Here you got your your inbox, your outbox, sent items and such, and then you can create folders for different items and contact lists. I don't, as you can see, don't really mess with that so much. Then you kind of have your inbox here, your inbox view. So then you can kind of scroll through each of these. These are going to be mostly empty. These are the sent items. And then you go back to here. You click on the email, left click on it. It'll bring up a preview of that email down here in the bottom. So it kind of gives you a quick glance of what you're going to open up when you open the email. And then of course it has your the source, the sender, all that stuff that you would normally have for an email system. Okay, so up here on the top left here, you have your different toolbars. You have your settings, which there's a ton of them. I'll tell you right now, I don't use like barely any of these. You can do a lot of things with Winlink, and I just like to keep it simple. So I'll tend to use very little of this. And then you have your messages. So if you want to write a new email, you can go to message, new message, and kind of fill out your form from there. So there's multiple ways to go about doing everything in this program. So you pick whichever works the best for you. Some of the other things you can do on here, you can do acknowledge receipts, which is cool if you absolutely need to get a response that somebody read your email. But it also, whenever you think of using this program, think of how much data you're sending out and how long that's going to take. This is like dial-up era speeds, so it's not going to be a fast turnaround. So if you're wasting bandwidth on sending an acknowledge receipt, your time transmitting is going to be that much longer. And then you have different templates you can make. You can make forms for all these different things, and I'll show you a little bit of that later. Attachments, you can do attachments, but they usually like to limit those just because of how big attachments can be, and that just makes, again, your transmitting time that much more. So then over here you have some more items here. The move to, that's just basically file management, moving emails back and forth from different folders to other folders. And then you have your delete, and then open session, a couple of drop downs here. And then down here you have some quick some quick buttons. So here's for a new message, reply to message, and then it kind of, when you scroll over it, it'll tell you exactly what it's for. So I'm not going to read all of them, but they do have quite a bit of things you can do here. So that's kind of the overview of Winlink Express, I should say. The other part of this that you need to have is some kind of modem system, a modem software, if you will. I use VARA HF. There's multiple other ones, as you can see in this drop down. Maybe you can see in the drop down.
Yeah, I can see it. It's right at the top there.
Yep. So you have your VARA HF. You have VARA FM. So if you want to do it over VHF, UHF, you can do it over that as well. And they have Packdoor, Packet. There's a bunch of different ones there that you can use. So you can use whatever you want. You don't have to use the VARA HF, but that's just what I use. That seems to be working well for me.
So maybe that's my issue, because I don't have that, and the only way I can send email over this is actually through actual email. I cannot get it to connect with the radio and go through HF at all. So maybe that's my issue.
That would make a big difference. So I can show you what VARA looks like when I open this up for me. So I guess I'll do it when I open a session. So I'll pretend like I'm going to create an email to show you what VARA looks like. So when you do a new email, you would open a session, and that's going to come up with a couple of windows here. It's on my other monitor, so I'll move it over to the other screen once it gets all loaded up. You guys see that?
We're just seeing what we were seeing before.
Oh, dang. It says it's sharing window, but not that. Hold on, let me take this one.
Puppy.
That's Layla. Huh. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Let me stop sharing. I can look at my mug again for a minute.
Re-add it. We'll zoom in on our mugs.
Oh, so if you guys are wondering, I've never used this program before, so I'm kind of playing around with it. The streaming platform, I should say. Okay.
Hey, go back to last week. I went 15 minutes and didn't even know the stream wasn't going.
Okay, so this is VARA HF. This looks very archaic, but it does its thing. What you're getting here is the receive signal. I actually have my radio going right now. You could probably hear it kind of in the background there.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of have it turned down in the back. Then here you have the different settings that you would need to get for your radios.
Hey, Ariel. Justin volunteered if you want to use him for a demonstration email.
Oh, sweet.
So
yeah, I'll go through a demonstration real quick here and show you guys kind of what it looks like on the quick end, and then we can go more in depth on setup. So right now I'm gonna minimize this. Well, actually, no, I'll keep this up here. Let's see what it does for me. Oh, maybe not. So I'll minimize that. Go back to my awesome face.
Hey, I'm sharing it with you. I mean, I could remove myself out and just be all you, but...
All right. Okay, so here's the... I'm going to try to get this situated for you. All right, so when you first open a session, it's going to bring open this window. And in this case, it's called the VARA HF Winlink session. Across the top here, you have obviously settings, how you set up your VARA which doesn't pop up on this share screen for some reason. Oh, wait, I think it just did. There should be a square right here showing the VARA setup.
Nope.
And it's not.
It was just asked, are you sharing the screen or just the window?
Let's see.
Because if you do shared screen, it'll just show your desktop. It'll show.
So it asks to share. Well, okay. Share window. So share screen.
Yep.
All right. Let me do that. Good point.
We'll try this.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try it again. Ah, you guys are smart. Okay, so the settings, this is kind of defaulted. I don't touch these, so you guys probably shouldn't touch them either. You can play around with the session bandwidth, but I don't really do it so much. Only if there aren't any good 500 RMS stations out there. If it's the conditions are really bad and you got to go up to a 2300 bandwidth, then I'll switch over. But usually I keep it to 500. Everything else I've kind of kept defaulted. So that's what the settings is. Then you can also set up your radio. So I have an FT891. These are my settings. If you need to screenshot it, go ahead. If you use an FT891, just keep in mind that the port number is probably going to be different for you depending on how your PC is set up. But these are the settings that I use for Winlink, for the VAR HF, I should say. So the peer-to-peer is if you are able to coordinate a time to connect with a person somewhere else, if that makes sense, like a point-to-point connection. There's no RMS stations, there's no internet involved. It's just straight radio between two people.
So with your Winlink Mondays, are you using peer-to-peer or are you using something else?
So I use the RMS station. So I'll send out my signal to a specific station that I have good propagation to, and then that accepts those signals, and then it'll kind of just hold it until it's time for somebody else checking their email. That makes kind of like packet type stuff.
Okay.
But you can also download it over the internet if you're having. I've done it where I've had horrible time connecting to anything, and I just open up a telnet session and it'll download it from the internet, just like you would for Gmail or whatever. So then you have channel selection, which is kind of what I was talking about. So this has all the RMS stations that are available. Obviously red meaning bad, yellow is meh, and green is pretty good. So you can update this either by radio or you can do it via the internet. I tend to do it for the internet just because I can and it's faster. So that'll update all the conditions of the different RMS stations, and that takes a few seconds, and then we can go on from there. All right, so that just updated all the RMS stations. Let's see here. Let me scroll up a little bit to get to some good ones. So obviously, when you're using this program enough, you start to find the stations that you connect to a lot easier, and you have better bandwidth with them. I will mention when I'm speaking of bandwidth is that you can have a free version of VAR HF and use their program for free, but you are limited on their bandwidth. So if you pay the $69 to register with that program, you get the full bandwidth of that program, and you only have to pay for it once. There's no subscription. It's just a one-time fee. Even if you change call signs, which I've done recently, you just have to get a hold of the VARA folks, and they'll move the registration key over to your new call sign, so you don't even have to pay.
Yeah, you were woked.
I was pretty woke.
And then you're what, Noah's to now?
No Oz. Yep. Yep. So, as you can see here, like I was talking about the different modes, the 2300 and the 500. So I usually stick to the 500. And let me turn the radio up a little bit. So I'm gonna just select one. I usually pick the KD7 UHR, and that's kind of run through. It'll automatically switch the channel, the center frequency and the dial frequency for you on the program and on your radio, so you don't have to do it manually. When you do bring up this screen, it'll kind of have this dialog box down here that tells you what your bandwidth is, the radio you're using, and all your different settings. Then it tells you whether or not it's a registered version of VARA. So I'm going to first bring up Winlink. This is an important thing here. When you write an email to somebody, you have to post it to your outbox before it'll send to anybody. So for this example, I'm sending it to N0JBE. So it's cool. You can just type in their call sign. Oops. So once you're done writing your email, you can add multiple call signs in here with just the semicolon for spacing or a comma. You can write in full emails. You can email addresses, that is. So you can send an email from Winlink to a Gmail account because, again, it goes through the internet at some point. And you can also get emails from regular internet service providers. So we'll say that this is the end of my message. So I'll post it to the outbox, and it'll kind of sit here ready to go for whenever you're ready to send your email. So if you think you sent an email, you really didn't. It's just sitting there waiting for you to mail it out in the post office box, if that makes sense to you. Turn that off. Okay, so now that I'm ready to send it, I will try to connect. So you'll hear it kind of do its thing in the background.
That's an interesting point, Jeff.
So while that's doing its beeps and bops, I'll turn that down so you don't have to hear it screeching.
Thought I just heard a Morse code transmission for coordinates in Moscow. No. Oh. Everyone, I don't know Morse code. I can't verify that. I don't know the code. I'm a no-code general.
Yep, so that was it. What it did was it reached out to the RMS station to see if there was any messages for me. And then at the same time, it sent my message out over the air. And then it disconnects you automatically from that RMS station so that you're not tying up the station there. So that took, 55 seconds altogether? So it's not bad, depending on how many emails you're sending and how many you're getting back. It could be fairly short. I've had times where it's taken me 15 minutes to wait for all my emails to download. But it's pretty neat.
Now, do you guys, you just sent that to Justin up in Mason, do you guys have to be on the same, RMS, or is that where the internet comes involved?
That's where the internet Yeah, that's where the internet comes involved. So it doesn't matter which one you connect to. Now, if we were doing a peer-to-peer, then yeah, totally it would matter what frequency we're gonna dial on and what the center frequency is, um, to be able to get a good connection with each other. I've yet to do a peer-to-peer. Um, I've wanted to, but I just have not had an opportunity to.
Now, here's the big question: did Justin get the email? Just a madman. Did you get the email? Okay, and that's what you just kind of explained. So,
Yep.
and it worked.
Yep. You got it.
Now the question is he going to send a reply?
Oh. Well, I will wait. You let us know in the chat when you sent it, and then I'll connect again. In the meantime, we can go into uh, setting it up so that it works for you properly. You said that you don't have Vara.
No,
Okay.
that's probably my issue.
Yeah. So for that one, honestly, it's been a while since I downloaded it. I don't remember the website for it, but I'll find it here in a second. Uh, it's kind of one of those sketchy things where you. Uh, oh, I guess it's right here. Hold on. Let me bring this over here. If you guys can see that.
You can find it. You can find it on the Winlink website.
Yep. Yep. So you can go there and you can download that version, and that's really it. Just find a good place to download it, and once you download it, we'll go into the Vara settings here.
Puppy.
Nope, not the RT systems. All right. Okay. This is var HF, like I showed you guys before. So in your settings, you want to make sure that it looks something like this. So obviously, you don't have to have the licensing, but I do. The command and data ports are all default. I've not ever touched those. And then these two check marks here are defaulted as well.
Okay.
With the exception of, I think, the 500 hertz connections. I think I selected that one on purpose. Everything else is still defaulted. For the sound card settings, you want to make sure that the device, your input and your output devices are correct. So as you can see, I got kind of a few different devices there. You want to make sure that that's correct. If that is off at all, it won't work at all. And then here you can tune up and try to see if it works for you or not. It kind of gives you an example of how it should look here in the bottom there.
And we got a question. Does the SSMD hard drives better for this or no?
When you say SSMD, are you talking solid state drives?
I was going to say, you're starting to talk different language. And hold on. Chris said yes, the solid state drives.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I have, oh gosh, I can't remember what the newer drives are now, the PCI or whatever they're called these days. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just all software. It doesn't really run too much off of hardware except for your radio. And then to preface all of this, you should have some kind of digital interface with this. So whether it's Signal Link, I used I think it was a mobile link or something like that. Some kind of digital interface is what you'll need to get started with all of this stuff.
Justin did say he sent a reply, so whenever you get around to that.
Sweet. Okay. So that's really the only settings in Vara is making sure your sound card's good, right, and making sure that you're showing up all the things here that you need to show up. And then for Winlink's a little different for setting that one up. So remember this long list of things that I had talked about?
Oh, yeah.
So really the only ones that I have personally messed with are the Winlink Express setup. So it kind of runs you through. It's pretty self-explanatory. You put in, your call sign, the password that you signed up with on their website, and then your email address if you need a recovery email, your grid square, and then everything else is optional. So like you'll see my contact info, I kind of left it kind of bare there. Everything else is defaulted. I didn't touch anything else. So that kind of makes the setup easy on this part of it. The other things I've done with this is mostly like templates. You can mess with preferences, but it doesn't really mess with the whole process of using the system. That's really it. It's really not as cosmic as a lot of people think it is. Once you get the Vara HF set up, once you have Winlink, then you're pretty much off to the races. As well as the digital interface in your radios. So I guess while we're waiting, I'll open up another session here. You'll see that I have mine set up where it automatically brings up the Vara modem. Actually, I'll leave that up so you can see kind of how that looks when I'm bring that over to my other screen. And then bring the Vara to that screen. And I will try to connect again. So you can, if you see at the bottom of the Vara here, it kind of has how many times it's tried to connect out of 15. So you can change that to where it's only going to try 10 times or whatever. I try 15 because sometimes it doesn't wake up the station until you get to the 10th ping in the first place. So I kind of leave it to 15. And as you can see, it's blazing fast down here. All right, so while it's connected to the station, it brings up. You can't see it on the screen because I can't drag it over here. Oh, yeah, I can. So it brings up a review of your pending messages. This is a super nice feature because sometimes you'll get. I wouldn't call it junk mail, but there's acknowledgement receipt emails that you'll get for these, and you don't want to spend your time downloading them. So you could pick which ones you want to actually download.
That is nice.
If you don't pick quickly enough, it's just going to do everything anyway. So I'll download the checked messages, which was just that one. It's receiving, so it kind of gives you on this other screen. Here, I'll bring this over. Kind of tells you that I'm connected, and then it'll start. It'll have this green bar across the top that'll kind of count down until it's completely loaded up there. Which I think it already did. Yep.
Apparently, the just had this issue before. People just pull call signs from Winlink nets. Spam.
All right, so let's see. What was that? So you can see, let me close this window out here so it's not bothering me. I did get a new email. Let's see what it said. This is my reply. Hey, it worked. So simple as that. It's not the best, but it'll work for you in a pinch if you need to get information out. So I use this for the Iowa Winlink. There's 2 Iowa Winlinks that happen throughout the week. There's one on Saturdays and one Monday. I run the one on Monday, and I try to do some kind of scenario with it to kind of help push the emergency communications type thing. So we might have a week where it's a tornado or a fire or something that we have to respond to, and I'll make it interesting. I try to make it as realistic as possible. And
I will say, as far as the state areas goes, this is what AE5EI, Joe Hopner, our Iowa traffic coordinator, has been pushing out. And I've been getting all kinds of frustrated with it. I can't figure it out.
yeah,
But I also have not had someone come through and actually detail it out. Be like, I'm missing stuff. I didn't know I was missing stuff. So
yeah, it's a good net. It's a good way to use the system. There's other bits to this that I didn't want to get into for the sake of just learning how to get it set up. But there's different forms that you can use and templates to be able to do for specifically for the things that Aries does, incident reports, that sort of thing. So
the IC 213s, 214s, all that fun jazz.
yep. Yep. So it's good for that. So even if you're not from Iowa, you're more than welcome to be on the net and kind of play along and see what you can mess around with on Winlink.
So that's Monday. So anytime on Monday, just send you an email.
Yep.
And you'll get them in there.
Yep. Send me an email on Monday, any Monday. You have from midnight Monday morning to 11:59 p.m. that night to get your check-in. So even if it's just a, hey, I'm checking in, we'll count it. Even if there was a scenario for that week, I'll still count it. I just want people to utilize it more. And it's just, a good system to kind of be familiar with.
Good deal. Well, now that we're going to get this out on the YouTubes and the internet, she'll probably get like 7,000. So I mean, you'll have good check-in numbers from here on.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll try to talk to like Ham Radio 2.0. We'll try to push this now. Iowa's going to be the Winlink capital of the country.
Oh man, I'll have to get T-shirts made.
And we could sell them on K0BJJ.com, not plug in a certain website or anything.
Oh man. Well, is there anything else that anybody needs to see or wants to ask or anything? I'm here, so
Go ahead, ask your questions. I think we're done with our explanation, so I will post the invite link if anyone wants to jump on and ask, a question in person or kind of in person on the stream. Just make sure you have clothes on, or I will not add you to the stream.
That's very important.
Jeff, put your shirt on. So we'll see if anyone wants to jump in. Oh, come on. So I just replaced the donation link pinned comment with the invite. Jeff says it's on, okay. So I still want you to help out the channel and donate if you can, but come in and have some fun, ask some questions, pick on me, whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see if I'm expecting at least one person at this point. Post that over to our super secret Discord. Was that Discord that just went off?
I think so.
I just posted to my area over there in IRO. So.
Yeah, I didn't turn that phone down.
Well, you've probably been hearing mine, and that's just because I've got it loud enough. So if anyone did donate to buy me a coffee, I could hear it. So, and yes, I could hear it because I had an actual earpiece in, which just fell out.
Oh man.
But, no, thanks for taking me through that, taking everyone through that. I know it's going to benefit me. I will probably be going back to the stream a couple different times while I'm getting irritated.
I think once you get Vara, it makes things a lot easier for you.
Well, let's see. Joe sent out a message forever ago. And he goes, "You need this, this, and this." I don't understand why I need 5 different things. And now, when you explain it, okay, that makes sense. But then again, it was in person. It's well, not in person as can be. We're in person for you being in Fort Dodge and me being down here. So,
yeah.
But it's where words versus an email, a message. It's better explained. So, wow, I was completely expecting Jeff or someone to jump in.
I figured I'd throw this up here. I don't know if you guys can still see it or not.
I can make them see it. Here we go.
There you go. So if you guys are wondering what I was talking about, the Winlink practice there, it's iowawinlink.net, and it has the two links there for Winlink Saturday and Winlink Monday. Click on Winlink Monday there, and this is kind of an example of what it'll look like whenever you log into it. Sometimes the scenarios are longer, sometimes they're shorter, but it's all for fun.
And speaking of Jeff, there he is. And I'll cover him up with Tyler's comment real quick. And I agree, Tyler. This made a lot more sense with Ariel walking us through it and being able to explain it like this.
Yeah, for sure.
And now we can't hear Jeff, and no, he's not muted. He's muted himself because it looks good on this end. Well, it did. Cannot unmute your guest. Their mic isn't connected. Still not connected, Jeff.
It was not plugged in. That's what I did earlier.
Well, I keep looking at his little mute on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
What freak are these on? Dave, did you just join us? Because he's not using a peer-to-peer. They're using a different... I forgot how to explain it. Ariel, this is your thing. Did you see Dave's comment?
Oh, okay. Yeah, the nets are... there's no specific frequency to log into or to tune into, I should say. So it's just whatever you can connect to on the RMS stations out there.
Hey, we just found Jeff. I don't know what he did, but
can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
All right. I don't know why the speaker is not going through my headphones.
That will do.
See you later, Chris.
There we go. That's better. Stupid Jabra.
So Dave just woke up from his afternoon nap. Dave, I will have this go live as soon as we can afterwards. You can go through and rewatch it. Ariel did a wonderful explanation of how this all goes through. It makes sense to me now, I hope. At least I have something to go back to and reference. So,
There's actually a bunch of nets out there throughout the entire week. I do a few of them. The first one I started doing was Winlink Wednesday. I had to stop doing it because the guy always had a fit that I wasn't doing it through Winlink or through the air. I had to do it through Telnet. Sorry, everyone can't have a perfect situation like you have, Mr. Net Control person. But I was like, okay, you don't want me there. That's fine. I'll just go elsewhere. He said, no, don't worry about it. It's like you made a big deal about it to begin with. So a lot of the stuff I do is Telnet, but I've used I have a Mac, and I will not switch him back to Windows. But I do have a Windows VM, although I don't have a way now to connect that to a radio. I was using Apply for a while, and Pat Winlink is a great program on the Raspberry Pi. KEM4ACK, Jason, has got all that stuff to work on the Raspberry Pi, and he shows you how to do it. It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
So there's other alternatives. My biggest grief is with Winlink that it is Winlink. It's for Windows only. But even the third-party apps like Pat Winlink are not that great. They're not full featured. But it's still a neat system altogether.
That never occurred to me that the Win in Winlink was Windows.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have people come on and educate me, because I don't claim to know everything. I'm winging it.
Yeah, there's a Delaware net on Wednesday that I do. It's all through Telnet, and I'm fine with that. And they don't care. I mean, they ask for like what's your like your name, your call sign, the city you're in, and what mode you're using. And people could check in like 3 times if they use 3 different modes. A lot of nets are like that too. There's like check in like 5 times, you have 5 different modes. So pretty cool that they do that.
We got a question for you, Ariel, in the chat. Are you going to post a summary of the how-to in the IR Winlink system?
Yeah, I can do that.
And then, Ariel, are you part of Ham Radio Clubhouse or something like that, just in case people have questions they can get a hold of you on a different Discord? Or
Nope. IRO is the only one.
I think we need to guilt trip him into Ham Radio Clubhouse or Toads or something. There's links for those in the description below.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out for sure.
See you later. Have a good one, ATV and Ham. I know he's about to have a wonderful vacation.
Nice.
So I was talking to him last night on the Dumpster Fire, which is the voice chatting over in Clubhouse. Mainly because it's mostly a dumpster fire. I mean, it's named appropriately for what it is. But yeah. If not, everyone, if you have questions, just email him. Just Winlink him.
Yeah, Winlink me. So it takes me an hour to download it. I'll use Telnet for that stuff. I'm not going to lie. I'll use Telnet. If I get frustrated enough with my connections, I'm like, all right, it's just Telnet.
Well, you're at the computer.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not comms down just yet.
Go ahead, Jeff.
One nice thing about Winlink also is that I'm starting to see more and more people that do QRP off-grid radio stuff on YouTube. They are using Winlink most of the times it's either from a Raspberry Pi or like the Windows tablet surfaces, or a small laptop of some type, which is kind of neat too. That's really the idea what it's for. It's not for you to sit in your house and do it. It's really, it's for when grids are down, really.
Yep.
Be able to send email out of your location where there's no power, no internet, no nothing.
There's a reason why it's for additional points on field day. It's meant to be out in the field.
Yeah. But I always go back to my grief is that it's Windows only, and they don't try to develop multiple platforms. It limits their user base, which is people will do that anyway, no matter what. But you're excluding people from using, and now unless they could figure out how to get it to work on their Mac or Linux or get Pi or Pat Winlink to work.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing is that there's also some apps for the smartphones too. And I've been using Radio Mail on my iPhone, trying to at least. I got a Pico APRS and I've been trying to get that to work, but it's not worked for me yet. So I'm gonna keep trying.
One fodder just told me to see above. Who knows? I don't know.
Good to see you, country strong and free.
How far?
What are you talking about? I have no clue what he's talking about.
Neither do I.
Resort to sign language. Oh, that was that earlier? I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Details. It's all about the details.
Oh, I think, yeah. Look up.
Look up. I am looking.
I hope we all
said look up. You didn't say where to look up. I was looking up.
Didn't say who to look up. Well, at least Justin did.
Oh, man. Yeah, and, you know, if you guys ever need help with any other of those digital modes as well, I've kind of messed with those mostly. I know I've helped people with JS8 call and those type of systems. And they're fun to mess around with, especially QRP. I'll turn down my 891 down to 5 watts and mess around with it and see how well I can do.
So you're becoming the Kevin of digital. Next thing we know, Ariel's going to be hooking, a random wire chair or something on the air, doing Winlink through a random
that
wire
would be
object.
That'd be a very boring video.
Gosh, I think what Kevin just hooked up a tractor on a rock a couple days ago.
I haven't seen that one.
And there went Jeff.
Oh.
Bye-bye. He went bye-bye. It happens.
You watch it. I just don't say anything in the video. I just have the background going.
No. Yeah. Apparently Jeff froze. That's not like Jeff. He doesn't freeze.
What's going on with that?
Usually you just never know. It's Jeff. I pick on Jeff enough. I better watch it, or he's going to come at me one of these days. Lost connection. Winlink.
Oh,
Winlink, Jeff.
It's because it was Apple. That's why.
Ooh,
got him.
Shots fired. I got into it the other day at work. Calling up Comdit. Oh, nice. I got into it with someone at work the other day because they are diehard Apple iPhoners. And so the comment I made to them was like, oh, so you mean you're taking our 2-year-old technology, charging double for it, and getting people are convinced that it's better than the stuff that I've had for 2 years. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. I'm not a hater of any platform. I just lean towards Android and Windows. I don't know.
Uh-oh, here comes the rebuttal.
Okay, it's not Mac. It's been passed, and I'm going to yell at them tomorrow. I didn't mind it when I was during the weekend because I wasn't doing anything, and I was out for most of the weekend anyway. But come Monday morning when that stuff starts happening, I was furious. Or actually, it was Wednesday morning. I was ready to rip someone's head off, and I had to wait so I don't rip someone's head off on the phone.
What's the service provider?
Comcast Xfinity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's issues. I love how they say there's no issues in your area. You go to their maps, like, oh, look, 51 to 500 people have an issue.
Yeah, Mediacom's the same way.
And then they try to lie to me. No, there's no issue in your area. Oh, we've checked our maps. I'm like, check a little harder. Come down here and I'll show you. I've done tech support since the start of the internet. You can't mess with me. And they actually lied to me before about how their telephone service works when there's power is out. So your modem will magically make my phone still work when there's no power. You're full of garbage.
Yeah.
MediaCom's horrible. I cannot wait to change.
Just a madman saying Android and Linux 100%.
They have their uses. I mean, actually, to tell you the truth, Mac X or Mac 10 was based upon Linux, like the FreeSBD version or something like that. I forget.
So the moral of the story is Mac is continuing to plagiarize off other people's advances, like they rumored to have done from the get-go.
Now, is that the same thing as everyone making their same flavor, their own flavor of Unix based off another version?
Yeah.
It's just like
All the same.
ham radio YouTube channels. We all talk about the same things. It's just different times, and it's everyone's got a spin.
Yeah.
It's all the same information. I mean, you could go to this and probably find a video from Ham Radio 2.0, TO. Everyone's got a video about Winlink. Everyone's got a stream, something about Winlink.
The best thing is when a new product comes out and everyone does a video on that product. It's like
at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like a great product. I think I'll buy one because they all did too.
They all did it at the same time.
Yeah. And some of that, we're not saying who is product placement where they go, hey, you want to review this live for us, and then maybe you can return it, or maybe we'll just give it to you and just eat the cost. There's a little of that going on. I'm not going to say with who. I will leave that for them to self-disclose, but I know a couple of people where that's happened.
A lot of people, they do disclose right at the beginning of their videos, like, I bought this my own money, or they sent it to me.
Yeah.
Well, per YouTube policy, we're supposed to.
Yeah, but they always say they're going to have their own opinions, which is fine. I'm not saying they're going to lie about it, and I would believe that they would tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least
it's great that they could do that. It's great that they could do it. And if they want to run out and buy the very first thing that comes out, well, the item that comes out right away, I mean, cool. If you want to spend your money on something that may not work,
see, my donations and stuff aren't that great. Just a Madman hasn't gifted me that $1 million donation that he's been promising me over Discord for the last 4 months. So I mean, I don't have the funds like that.
Yeah, I mean, if people do have funds, that's awesome that they do and that they could do that kind of thing. And if they're well known enough where people or companies send them stuff, that's awesome too.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm only picking on Just a Madman because we have talked quite a bit. He expects it at this point. So no, I'm not expecting people to just throw money donations at me. I would, if you do, that's awesome. I'll add you to the supporter list. If you don't, if you're a friend, I'm going to give you crap. I honestly, you do you. I appreciate the likes and the shares and the subs. That's what I want people to do. Like, share, and subscribe. That's the only thing I want people to do.
Don't forget to leave a comment.
Oh yeah, help the algorithm.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash it. So, I mean, I want people to do the free things.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to help out the channel financially, donate product, that's one thing. I just give my friends really crap about it, especially Justin, because, well, I've sat there and talked to him and heard about all his radios that he buys constantly, and he's got a problem. He's got a radio problem. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised within the last 2 weeks if he's bought another 3 radios.
Jeez.
Yeah, no. Just a Madman's got a radio problem. But
he's still talking about Linux.
Yes, he is.
The people, I've known a few Linux, I guess you could call them administrators, and they know Linux like the back of their hand. And back when the internet was started, that's all they were working on. They were just coding stuff for internet providers. They work for internet providers, and they were just coding stuff left and right to keep up with the demand and the server stuff that was needed at the time. Now all that stuff's done. Mostly just buy a software product and get X amount of licenses. So
Case in point right there. FTM 500 showed up 2 days ago. Case in point.
Nice.
So, well, guys, we're in overtime. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you, Ariel, for coming on and educating me. Thank you, Jeff, for the last minute jump on, because Jeff always does the last minute jump on. He just doesn't know it half the time. It's usually, hey, Jeff, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. You want to come on? And he goes, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
but no, this earlier today, earlier in the stream, you said it's like I might throw it on later if Ariel doesn't have enough material or whatever you said. I'm like, that's good, dude. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. No, I just didn't know how long the explanation. I wanted to give Winlink what they deserved.
Yeah. I was good with it if it went a whole hour.
And no, you're not doing your 10 like stance because I didn't load the thing up today. So, boo. Honestly, I'm debating if we should continue to have the dance or not. We'll see. But not this week. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Jeff, do you got anything coming up here soon?
Just been busy. Been trying to get at least one video done, and I have not been able to do it at all. Mostly because of the holiday and my workload, and a few things popped up this weekend. So, but I should have some interesting stuff coming out, hopefully soon.
Ariel, you got Winlink Monday tomorrow? Anything fun radio-wise planned other than Winlink Monday?
Nope, not really. It just I struggle just doing Winlink Monday some weeks. So, so yeah, come on board.
I am working the new job and trying to learn my thing here. I'm not going to say who I'm with at all. So it's been nice. It's going to be fun. I should have some stuff coming up here in the future. Don't know when. I got a video with Scout 75 coming on in a couple weeks on his channel. So just keep an eye out. If you're watch Scout 75, there'll be something coming up in hopefully a couple weeks. He's editing it right now. But feature. So Ariel going to do a
foot episode. An episode on feet.
I can show my feet. I'm barefoot right now, actually.
Well, guys, I say we get out of here before it really goes off the rails. Yeah. I'll have this up live as a video as soon as we can get it. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you next Sunday. I don't know what we're doing. I'll try to put something together within the week, but if not, we'll be here chatting, probably with Jeff. Whoever else wants to jump on. But thank you all for watching. We'll see you later. See you next time.